जय श्री गुरु गौरांग गिरिधारी राधा वल्लभ माधव जी की जय। राधा रमन बिहारी राधा विनोद बिहारी राधा नंद बिहारी जी की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जी की जय। राधा दामोदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा गोकुलानंद राधा रमन जी की जय। कृष्ण बलराम महाराज की जय। नित्य पृष्ठ ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परिव्राज कचर्य स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत मधुसूदन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्य पृष्ठ ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्य पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति जीवन जनार्दन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत त्रिविक्रम गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद श्रीमद् गौरगोविंद महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति वैभव पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रमोदपुरी गोस्वामी श्रीमद् भक्ति राक्षसधर गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति कमल गोविंद गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। पृष्ठ विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। परम भागवत शिल गौर किशोर दास जी महाराज की जय। सप्तम गोस्वामी सच्चिदानंद शिल भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। वैष्णव सर्वभौम शिल जगन्नाथ दास जी महाराज की जय। रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। सौरभ दामोदर रायरमानंद श्री गौर परिषद वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदी श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। मंदो की जय। ब्रज मंदो की जय। क्षेत्र मंदो की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। चर संप्रदाय चराचर चरधाम की जय। रसेश्वरी क्रियेश्वरी वृंदावनेश्वरी श्रीमती राधा कुरानी की जय। नंद कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे गुरुचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। आनन्दलीलमय विग्रहाय मदीयविचित्रसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। नित्यानन्द नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानन्दप्रदायिने कलौ कल्मषनाशाय जन्मपतये नमः। अजनलम्बितभुजो कनकवदातो सङ्कीर्तनैकपितरो कमलायताक्षो विश्वम्भरो द्विजवरो जुगधर्मपालो वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणावतारो। कनकजलाधकत्रो नीलशोणं च नेत्रो मृगमदवरबालो मालतिकुन्दमालो तरलतरुनवेशो नीलपीतम्बरेशो स्मरनिभृतनिकुञ्जे राधिका कृष्णचन्द्रो तवैवास्मि न जीवमि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वं नयमं चरणान्तिके। श्री राधा माधव मोहन की जय। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदमयं ददति स्वापदान्तिकं। वृन्दावनीयं रसकेलिवार्तं कालेन लुप्तं निजशक्तिमुत्का सञ्चर्य रूपे व्यतनोत्पुनाः सा प्रभुर्विधौ प्रागिव लोकसृष्टिम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। First of all, my limited Dandavat pranams to the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupada Stotra Sata Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. All the chain of disciplic succession headed by from Srila Rupa Gosvami, coming from Srila Rupa Goswami, especially to the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, whose teachings we're discussing these days. Also my dear instructing spiritual masters. Pujapat Bhakti Vedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj Pujaniya Shrimati Krishna Priya Thakurani. All dear devotees and guests here in Groombridge. And all those who are watching us online and in recordings, Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming to this remote kunja, remote grove, sacred, the sacred forest, reminding Vrindavan so much. So we're about to listen to the sacred teachings of Srila Rupa Gosvami Pad. You can see the 6 figures on the right in the upper row, just down here on the altar. The 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, they are. So Sri Rupa, Sanatana, Raghunatha Bhatta, Jiva, Gopala Bhatta, Raghunatha Das. 6. So Srila Rupa Goswami is considered to be the leader of them. His elder brother Sanatan Goswami, also very prominent. And his only disciple, Jiva Goswami, Srila Jiva Goswami, is our Tattvacharya, means the holy teacher who has established philosophical principles. And Srila Rupa Goswami is Rasa Acharya. He is the holy master who has established the principles of ecstatic relationship with the Lord, Rasa. So this word is very significant. In the world's religions, it's not given actually any attention in most of the cases, or only some hints are given towards the relationship with the Lord. If you ask representatives of world's religions, who is your Lord? What does he look like? What will you do when you meet him? What exact relationship you'll have with him? They will say, shh, don't speak. Or they will answer nothing. Or they will consider that a heretical question, heresy. So they're not speaking about it. Even in the Vedic path of bhakti, we are trying to be members of. Not so much attention was given to what is called rasa, or bhakti rasa, let's say. Much attention was given to bhakti, means devotional service. Bhakti is well-known word, isn't it? But rasa is a specific part of bhakti which cannot be extracted. It goes together with bhakti actually. So what is bhakti rasa? What exactly constitutes the principles of bhakti rasa? Srila Rupa Goswami explained. In the song Yankali Rupa Sharira Anadarata, which we will sing probably tomorrow, the author is saying that as a swan is able to extract water from the, milk from the water, because normally it's not possible, but a swan has that potency, that potential to extract water from milk from the water. In that same way, Sri Rupa Goswami has extracted every single rasa from the ocean of rasa and has described all types of relationships with the Supreme. So we'll speak something about the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami as we hear how Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu inserted that into his heart. So we saw this is Panchatattva, or Lord Chaitanya in 5 features. So we'll speak just a little bit about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu, Maha means great and Prabhu means Lord. So his devotees were calling him like this, Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahyanya. He is none different than Radha and Krishna. I mean, he's Krishna, but covered by the mood and the color of Srimati Radha Thakurani. Radha Bhava Duty Sulitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. I worship that Swarupa, that form of Krishna, who is fully covered with the mood and the color of Srimati Radhika. So externally he has come to teach devotion all the world, how to chant the holy name, how to worship Krishna. He has come to teach. But internally, that is Krishna, who, after he returned to Golok Vrindavan 5,200 years ago, was having 3 unfulfilled desires. Imagine the Lord having unfulfilled desires, isn't it paradoxal? all his desires must be fulfilled. That's why spiritual world exists, material world exists, all of us exist. We're his parts and particles. Everything seems to be very harmonious, isn't it? But something is still lacking in his heart. Some desire is remaining, some unfulfilled desire. What is that? Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrishavana Eva Swadedena Bhuta Madhurima Kidrishava Madhya Sokam Chasya Manudavatam Kidrisham Vitiloba Tadbhavadi Samajini Sachigarba Sindhu Rindu. He was having three unfulfilled desires. The first one is Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima. What is the depth of Srimati Radhika's love? Krishna is the object of love of all the residents of spiritual world, material world also, for those who are devotees. We're trying to be devotees. So we worship Krishna here. He is on the altar with Radha next to him, right? So we do puja every day, morning, evening. And we're offering prayers, we're chanting his names on japa, on the beads. So we're trying to be devotees. So he is the object. But simultaneously, he's very greedy. He's very greedy because he wants to know the taste of love present in each and every jiva's heart, in the heart of each and every jiva, living entity. What is this particular flavor? Very greedy to taste. Right? Like a person wants to collect flowers, like we collect flowers, we offer to the deities, but a gardener may be very greedy. I want to collect every single flower and see and smell and touch and understand the particular energy that flower has, right? With in his devotion to the sun, let's say in a figurative way. So Krishna wants to taste that love. And who is the best devotee of Krishna? Undoubtedly Srimati Radhika. Radhika or Radharani. So she is serving Krishna the best way. To serve, the Sanskrit root is aradhana. Sanskrit word aradhana means service. And her name Radha is corresponding to that root. Because she is the personification of devotion. Bhakti Devi, she is called also. Bhakti Devi. So amongst the beloveds of Krishna, there are so many in different worlds. Radha takes the most prominent position. In fact, she is the fountainhead of all the female incarnations. Uma Rama Satya Sachi Chandra Rukmini, Radha Avatara Saba Amna. All the Amnas, all the revealed scriptures unanimously proclaim that Srimati Radhika is the fountainhead of all the incarnations. Uma, wife of Lord Shiva, Rama, Lakshmi, wife of Lord Narayan, Uma Rama Satya, Satyabhama, one of the wives of Krishna in Dwaraka, Uma Rama Satya Sachi, Chandra, Chandravali, another gopi from the opposite group to Srimati Radhika. But Radhika is the fountainhead of them. So she is the best. And Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is that Krishna who is very greedy to know the depth of Srimati Radhika's love. That's the first desire he was having. The second one, Radha Bhavaditi, Shri Radhaya Pranayama Kidrishavaneva Sadyayan Bhuta Madhurima. What is the Adbhuta Madhurima? Or what is the inconceivable sweetness she tastes? With the sweetness in me, in my own qualities, which she is tasting. Only she can taste, because she is the highest. Her mood is the highest. She is the highest relisher of rasa, the relationship with Krishna. See that rasa. They are having rasa in their heart, fully established, boiling, like sugarcane juice. And then it's becoming firmer and firmer and firmer, and becomes molasses, then becomes what? Caramel, sugar caramel, and then becomes sugar as we have it, sugar cane. And the third desire was what exactly she tastes when she's perceiving his wonderful qualities. So Krishna can be compared to a sugar doll. Sugar doll consists fully of sugar. But how can a sugar doll understand his own sweetness? Not possible. Without a relisher. So that's why the Lord has agreed to taste the love of his devotees, especially the gopis, especially Srimati Radhika. That's why he is Gopinath and Radhanath. That's why he's called so. So therefore he has come. And the nature of Bhakti Rasa, the science of Bhakti Rasa, he has put into the heart of his devotees, especially Sri Rupa Goswami. So please remember this name, Rupa Goswami. Rupa means form, actually. So the form of Srimati Radhika, the personification is Sri Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami has written a book called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the nectarian ocean of Bhakti Rasa, of ecstatic, sweetest relationship with Krishna. In that book, he described all kinds of relationships. There are 5 main relationships, or rasas, and 7 subsidiary. So the first of the 5 is neutrality, then servitorship, servant and master, then friendly relationship, like Krishna and Arjuna, you know. Krishna told Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, have you heard? Okay, good. So Arjuna was Krishna's friend. This afternoon we discussed with that yoga group. It's a pity you didn't come there. Nice. You know, I have recording. So Arjuna was Krishna's friend. Then parental affection. Imagine God can have father and mother. Can you believe? Yes. When Krishna comes, he comes as the son of Nanda, Nandanandan, and son of Yashoda, Yashodanandan. Nandan means the son. The Supreme Lord is unborn, isn't he? He's unborn. But he takes birth for the pleasure of his devotees. So, therefore, we accept him as the son of Nanda, son of Yashoda. That is a fact. Even in the spiritual world, the residents, they know he's the son of Nanda, son of Yashoda. They've never seen how he was taking birth because he's never born there. It's spiritual world. There's no birth and death. But they know anyway, he's the son of Nanda, son of Yashoda. That's their conception. But when he comes to the spiritual world, he really takes birth. And he has mother and father, sister and brother, Balaram and Subhadra. So, and then finally, loving relationship which is based towards attraction to the Lord as beloved. It may be related to marriage or not. In Dwaraka, Krishna has so many queens, 16,108. And in Vrindavan, he's not married. But many, many young maidens, gopis, or cowherd ladies. Gopa means covered man, gopi means covered lady. They run towards Krishna when he plays his flute. And they dance with him. So that is called rasa, dance. That's another meaning of rasa. But so these are 5 rasas. Remember, neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental affection, and affection to a beloved, right? In family or non-marital. So non-marital is the highest in spiritual world. Whatever we have in this material world is just a reflection of what exists in spiritual world. And sometimes it's quite diametrically opposite. In this material world, non-marital relationship is considered to be abominable. Especially 100 years ago. Now I don't know what's going on. But in spiritual world, on the contrary, this is the highest and this is most attractive, most sweetest. So that's what really attracts Krishna most. Can we say Krishna is not attracted to his servants? We cannot say. He is attracted to them so much. How can we say Rama is not attracted to Hanuman? You know, Ramayana, Hanuman? Hanuman is a pure servant of Lord Ram in the shape of a monkey. Right, it's a monkey army of Hanuman and others. They conquered Lanka. So anyway, he's attracted to his servants, he's attracted to his friends, he's attracted to his parents so much, but especially he's attracted to his beloveds. In Dwaraka to his queens, for sure, and in Vrindavan to the gopis, to the sweet mates, coward girls of Braj. So, but to them he's attracted most, and to Srimati Radhika he's attracted to the utmost degree. So Srila Rupa Goswami has investigated that and has described. So that's a completely phenomenal input Srila Rupa Goswami has made into the, let's say, theology of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Scientifically saying, we're trying to be very scientific today. So theology of Gaudiya Vaishnava. Gaudiya means those who follow Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So those devotees in Bengal, they come from Gauda, and Gauda is the name for Bengal, another name of the Gaudiya means those devotees who belong to Bengali school. So Shri Rupa, Sanatana, and other Goswamis out of the six, the leaders of all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. They are the personalities who have described the conception of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in full. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was here, he was not writing books, he was not able. He was constantly immersed in deep trance, deep trance. He was always chanting Ha Krishna and falling unconscious. So in the mood of Radha, he was doing that. So he gave his pure servants, six Goswamis of Vrindavan, that mission to write books on the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, which is called Gaudiya Siddhanta in the language we use, philosophy of Krishna consciousness. So he gave them actually 4 missions. What are they? Remember? Shri Vigraha Prakash, to discover the forgotten deities in Vrindavan. Long ago, when Krishna was on the planet, he had so many sons and grandsons, and his great-grandson called Vajranabha has established deities of Krishna. So those deities were originally in Vrindavan, but then they were forgotten, hidden, so the 6 Goswamis, they had to rediscover them. When they came to Vrindavan, Vrindavan was just dense jungle with thorny bushes. And certainly there were some nice residents like deer and many other peacocks, but there were no practically buildings like now. There are so many buildings, the big buildings, cement, etc. No, then there was nothing, just jungle. So Goswamis discovered those places of Krishna and discovered the forgotten deities. So the second mission, yes, to discover the places, Lupta Tirtha Parayana, to discover the lost, forgotten places like Sevakunj, Niduvan, Vamshivat, Keshigat. You want to open the window a little bit? We're not making noise. So, no need?
They actually don't open only that one.
Oh, all right. Oh, okay. So good. So, yeah, so that those places and deities were forgotten and lost. So they were rediscovering them. And the 4th mission, to write books, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was fully in trance and he just uttered 1 or 2 verses spontaneously. So they were recorded. And then to teach etiquette, what to do, how to practice bhakti and devotional service. So we will never able to repay 6 Goswamis, especially Sri Rupa Goswami. Also in our line, we're calling ourselves Rupanuga, means the followers of Sri Rupa Goswami, followers of Sri Rupa Goswami. How Srila Rupa Goswami was practicing, how he was meditating, how he was chanting, how he was writing, everything will have to follow. So he described also how to practice in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He said, Seva sadhaka rupena, siddha rupena chatrahi, tad bhava lipsuna karya brajalokana sarada. Seva sadhaka rupena. You have to practice in your body of this, material world, physical body, sadhaka, spiritual student, aspirant, and in spiritual bodies simultaneously. Seva sadhaka rupena, siddha rupena chatrai. So, when your spiritual body is developed, then you gradually become constantly meditating, start constantly meditating on your eternal service in your Swarupa, in your spiritual body. We're hearing about the wonderful service the Goswamis of Vrindavan were doing, and we're following them, how they were worshipping, how they were feeling. We're going in their footsteps. So that's called Anuga. Anugatya means to follow the footsteps. What if we haven't realized our spiritual body yet? We're trying to be free from designations. Srila Rupa Goswami has delineated the path of bhakti in this verse. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikana shishikesha sevanam bhaktir uchyate. So bhakti, or devotional service, pure devotional service, is being freed from all designations, such as body, color of the body, nation, background, certain circumstances of our lives. Certainly, we're not rejecting that completely. If you're not completely renounced, like most of us are householders, and today's class in the yoga studio was dedicated actually to that. They were asking how to practice Bhagavad Gita in our life, in our social life as we are, family life, etc. So we're saying, oh, we have to adjust everything so that everything is dedicated to Krishna, and simultaneously everyone is happy with us here. That's very easy to do. People will become happy when they see us spiritually inclined, spiritually enlightened, leading a pure life, right? Wishing others good. Such natural tendencies are attractive for people. So if you practice purely, without duplicity, then everything's fine, everybody will be happy. And if something remained from this world inauspicious, then we apologize and say what to do. Purification is a gradual thing. If you're standing in the shower, you have to wait for some time, especially after a long shift. You've come all dirty, like you're a mechanic or something from the garage, all covered with oils and all kinds of colored materials, and then maybe dyes or something. So it takes some time. Maybe you need some kerosene or something to become pure. So in the process of sadhana, gradually we will come to the cognizance of our internally conceived spiritual body. Swarupa. Swarupa. Swa means yours. Rupa means form. So our form as it is now, this body, this color, this, how to say, subtle body, which has so many thoughts, desires, and tendencies, is not our Swarupa. It's a temporary Swarupa, form. Our Swarupa is eternal servant of Shri Radha and Krishna. So when we meet Sri Guru sees that. Sri Guru is like a gardener who sees the tendency of every heart, and he directs that tendency towards the fulfillment of the naturally conceived service, which will be disclosed in due time. So Srila Rupa Gosvami is such a guru, right? And in his line, those gurus who are in his line, they're like this. They're all Rupanuga. So while staying in Vrindavan, we're very, very lucky to stay with those devotees who are very strictly in the line of Sri Rupa Goswami. And they take us to the Samadhi. Samadhi means place where his transcendental body is situated. And they're making us they make us staying close to the conception of Srila Rupa Goswami, like this. Our Gurudev used to take us to the Samadhi of Srila Rupa Goswami and offer us like flowers, like this. Okay, so he was accepting us because Gurudev was offering. So we're very, very lucky. Now we can be called Rupanugas, therefore Srila Gurudev has introduced us. Normally in this life, nobody much knows you much, right? Nobody knows you much, but if some
honorable person introduced you somewhere in good assembly, then everybody pays attention. This person is related to the okay. Now completely different relationship is there. So because of mercy of Srila Gurudev, we have much hope that we'll become Rupanugas, the followers of Srila Rupa Gosvami. Okay, so now we'll talk about his mystical path he has introduced. What's the essence? I was talking like in general, speaking something about what he has given to the world, speaking something about Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So now, Sri Rupa and his brother Sanatan, they were sons of Brahmana and Kumaradev. But somehow they got into the service of the Muslims. At that time, India was conquered by the Muslims. So Nawab Hussain Shah, the governor of Bengal, engaged them in the service. He noticed that those boys were very, very intelligent. And he summoned them to work for him. So by the twist of fate, they have to work for Muslim government. Srila Rupa Gosvami was personal advisor of the Shah, and Sanatana Goswami was his prime minister. So the positions were very, very high. And although they knew that Muslims are destroying Vedic culture, giving so much pain to the Hindu society, to the Brahmanas, to the Vaishnavas, and to the Lord ultimately. Anyway, they worked sometime, they had to. But they were very, very devoted to Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu in their hearts. They knew that he would be coming through their village. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas at the age of 24. And he was so much desirous to visit Vrindavan. Vrindavan is the topmost spiritual place. But he was not meant to stay in Vrindavan long. Because Vrindavan is a place of Krishna. And Sri Chaitanya is Krishna who is in the mood of Radha. Therefore he is golden complexion also. So to be in the mood of Radha, he could not stay in Vrindavan. That's why when he came to Vrindavan, finally he spent there only 2 weeks. Only 2 weeks. Then he left. But on the way to Vrindavan, he was coming through the village of Sri Rupa and Sanatana, Ramakeli. So the brothers wrote one message to Sri Chaitanya, not one, a few messages to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, eagerly waiting for his answer. But he gave one answer. He gave one answer, which was metaphorically saying, the answer said, on a wife who is devoted to husband, but still she has a lover, is serving husband very devotedly, but in her mind she has attachment to her lover, and she anticipates a meeting with her lover so much. So he said like this, so she is serving to her husband faithfully, but she's thinking about her lover. So they could understand that, okay, they always think of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but they have to serve the Muslim government as if nothing is happening. But finally, they could not continue anymore. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to their village, Ramakeli, and a sweet meeting took place. He was surrounded by so many followers, thousands of followers. And even the Shah, Nawab Hussain Shah, appreciated his personality. He was thinking, oh, probably he's a very exalted personality. So Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, gave them the names Rupa and Sanatana, because before they had some other names. Rupa Goswami was called Dabir Khas, and Sanatana Goswami was called Sakara Malik. So the Muslim names they were having even. So after meeting them in the village of Ramakeli, Mahaprabhu departed for Vrindavan, and Rupa and Sanatana went to their homes. And they were trying to devise some means so that they can give up their material activities, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had stolen their hearts and they were thinking of joining him forever. They could not continue service to the Muslim king anymore. They were practically richest people of their time. They had thousands of gold coins. One gold coin could feed the whole family, probably the whole life, with such a gold coin. There were rupees and some annas and many other units, but a gold coin was like, I don't know, like probably $10,000 now or something, I don't know. So according to material estimation, they were multimillionaires at that time. But they were trying to get rid of all that. And first of all, they appointed 2 brahmanas and paid them a large amount of money. And they told, oh, please, perform some ceremonies so that we can attain the shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the brahmanas were chanting mantras and performing yagyas for that. And at the time, Rupa Gosvami returned home, taking with his large quantities of riches loaded in boats. You imagine golden coins loaded in boats, his riches. So it's an example actually for devotees. Not everyone is so rich, but Rupa Goswami divided the wealth into 3 parts. Half he immediately gave to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, half. And 25% to his relatives. And 25% he deposited with the grocer, just in case, because he knew that there would be some complications, legal complications. So he deposited 10,000 coins to a grocer. And at that time, Sanatana Goswami got into custody, into jail, because neglecting the desire of the Shah, he stayed home. He didn't go for his job. He was staying home, having invited so many brahmanas, and they were reading Srimad Bhagavatam and discussing. Srimad Bhagavatam is the large encyclopedic dictionary of Vedic literature. Bhagavad Gita is small dictionary, so Srimad Bhagavatam is encyclopedia. So they were reading, and then the Shah sent his best doctor to check Sanatana's health. The doctor came and he examined Sanatana and said, oh, Sanatana is completely healthy. What's going on? So Nawab Hussain Shah came personally and said, you're saying that you're sick, but you're completely well. So what do you mean? Why are you not fulfilling your duties? Oh, dear Shah, I think I will not be able to serve you anymore. What are you saying? I want to conduct a military attack on Bengal, on Orissa. You have to accompany me. No, dear Shah, I know. But you'll be torturing devotees. You'll be destroying temples. I cannot assist you. I will stay back. Then arrest him immediately. Put him into custody. So Sanatana Goswami got into jail. So Srila Rupa Goswami sent him a message. Please engage 10,000 coins I had deposited to a grocery store, the grocer, to free yourself from custody, from jail. So Sanatana Goswami, he was thinking, oh, then he talked to custodian and he said, oh, listen, remember I helped you when I was prime minister? Oh, yes, sir. Can you help me now? Can you tell Nawab that I drowned? I went to Yamuna to take bath and I drowned. And my chains, they just dragged me to the bottom of the river. Here, 10,000 coins. Oh, sir, certainly I will tell. 10,000 coins. That's just enormous amount. Like you made him a millionaire instantaneously. So the custodian was so happy, and he told Nawab that Sanatana had drowned, but Sanatana crossed the river, and having just one servant, he went to Varanasi, Benares, and there he met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Rupa Goswami took his brother Anupama, Vallabha, because they had a third brother, a younger brother, whose name was Anupama. Otherwise Vallabha, but Anupama, his proper name. So Rupa and Anupama went to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Prayag, which is now called Allahabad. That's the place where great rivers of India, Yamuna and Ganga, meet. So Prayag means confluence. So Srila Rupa Goswami and Anupama went there. And at Prayag, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to see the temple of Bindu Madhava. Many thousands of people were following him. And some of people were chanting, some dancing, laughing. Everybody was exclaiming, Krishna, Krishna, like this. So the two brothers, Rupa and Anupama, saw the great crowd. And they could see that Mahaprabhu was so ecstatic when he saw the deity of Bindu Madhava. The Lord was loudly chanting the name of Hari, dancing in ecstatic love. He was periodically exclaiming, Hari, Hari, sometimes falling in convulsions. He was trembling. He was coming back to external consciousness like this. Stuttering, not able to pronounce the name properly. Yeah. Falling again. Like this, he was in ecstatic mood. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was invited by some Brahmana to sit in a solitary place. And then, in the home of Dekan Brahmana, he invited him in his home. Then Rupa and Vallabha, Rupa and Anupama met Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Seeing the Lord from the distance, the two brothers put 2 clumps of straw between their teeth. That's the symbol of humility. And immediately fell down at the ground like rods, offering obeisances. So they had met their Lord. So they were overwhelmed with ecstatic emotion, reciting various Sanskrit verses. They stood up and fell down again and again. Mahaprabhu was so pleased to see Rupa Goswami and said, stand up, dear Rupa. Please come here. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, it's not possible to describe Krishna's mercy, for he has delivered you both from the well of material enjoyment. Certainly they're eternally liberated souls. But Mahaprabhu still said, because they were playing the roles of ordinary human beings. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted this verse, Name bhaktash chaturvedi mad bhaktash vapachapriya tasmai deyam tatograyam sacha pujyo yatayaham. So Krishna said, even though a person is a very learned scholar and knows all Sanskrit literatures, Vedic literatures, unless he is my devotee, I cannot accept him. I will accept a devotee who is even from the community of untouchables. Shvapacha means dog eaters. Certain tribes in India, they eat dogs, even now. So in China, some people do. Right, so those untouchables. So even if a devotee was born in the untouchable community, the Lord will accept him. Even if he's not qualified as a Brahmana and doesn't know scriptures and doesn't have Brahminical qualifications. So indeed, all respect should be given to him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted. So such devotees are as worshipable as I am. So Rupa and Sanatana were considered to be fallen by a Hindu community. They were considered to be like Muslims because they were serving the Muslims. So they were practically rejected. Nobody was inviting him. They were not allowed in Puri. They were not allowed in the temple of Jagannath. And the Hindu community was like looking down at them. But Mahaprabhu recited that verse specifically, saying that one who is devoted to me, not dependent on his or her background, is very, very dear to me. Much more than a Brahmana who is not devoted. So after reciting this verse, Mahaprabhu embraced the two brothers, and his causeless mercy was boundless. He placed his feet on their heads. After receiving the Lord's causeless mercy, the two brothers folded their hands in a great humility, offered the following prayers. That prayer we chant actually every day. But first of all, Rupa Goswami pronounced it there. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. O most munificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself. Now you have appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani, and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. So, another verse he quoted, Yogyanamatam bhuvanam dayalur ullagayan apyakarot pramattam swaprema sampat sudayat bhuteham Shri Krishna Chaitanyam Om Prapadye. So, later Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami included that in his Govinda Lilamrita, the author of these words later in a different book. He quoted this verse. So we offer respectful obeisances and the supreme and merciful Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has converted all the three worlds which were maddened by ignorance and saved them from the diseased condition by making them mad with the nectar from the treasure house of love of God. Let us take full shelter of that personality of God, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, whose activities are wonderful. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always so much reluctant to hear his glorifications. He was escaping that, but this time he was not showing any repulsion. He was very happy inside. So the brothers were quoting that. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, "What news do you have of Sanatana?" Rupa Goswami said, "Sanatana has now been arrested by the governor of Hussain Shah." And Mahaprabhu said, "Oh, Sanatana has already been released from his confinement. Very soon he will meet with me." Indeed, Sanatana Goswami met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after he went from Prayag to Varanasi, a bit more to the east. So then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu selected some residents and he met certain personalities, Vallabha Bhatta, Raghupati Upadhyay, those very, very sweet pastimes we'll not discuss today. So then another meeting took place. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was teaching Srila Rupa Goswami the ultimate limit of truth about Lord Krishna. And he was teaching him whatever he had in his heart. So that's why Srila Rupa Goswami has given that to all the world. So he infused everything into the heart of Srila Rupa Goswami. And Srila Rupa Goswami is the person who has understood the internal desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. So Srila Rupa Goswami has understood Manobishtam, means internal desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In fact, that's the desire of every disciple to understand the internal mood of his Gurudev. What is that? Very, very deep thing. So Mahaprabhu taught Rupa Goswami all the conclusions he heard from Raya Ramananda. Last time, 2 years ago, I was here and we were discussing that transcendental dialogue. Sri Raya Ramananda was speaking and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was listening. So Mahaprabhu started speaking. He said, "In the course of time, the transcendental news of Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan was almost lost. To describe those pastimes very explicitly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered Srila Rupa Goswami. So from the very beginning, Srila Rupa Goswami was very attracted to the transcendental qualities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri, when he sent Rupa and Sanatana to Vrindavan, he was asking pilgrims, how are Rupa and Sanatana doing? And Srila Rupa and Sanatana were living in a completely different way than when they were in the Muslim government. Well, they had no money. They had no clothes also. The only possession was a piece of loincloth around their waists and japa bead bags in japa beads in the bead bags, and the kamandalu, the purification, the vessels for purification. And when it was really cold, then they used some chadars, some cloth around their necks. That's it. I remember one instance, it's about Srila Sanatana Goswami, but very exemplary. When later Sanatana Goswami was with Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu in Varanasi, when Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu noticed a piece of cloth which was around Sanatana Goswami's neck, that piece of cloth was quite luxurious, and he received it as a donation on the way. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was looking sometimes like this, casting some glance on his cloth. And Sanatana Goswami had noticed that glance, and he was thinking, oh, I should do something to make Mahaprabhu happy. So he went to the Ghat, to the place of bath. Yeah, people take bath, the Ganga. And he called on one very, very poor mendicant who was having dirty and torn clothes, just piece of cloth. And he said, oh, sir, can you please accept this from me in exchange to your old and torn quilt? And that person said, oh, sir, you must be joking. How can I accept this from you in exchange for this? No, I'm really serious. I really mean it. You please give me a piece of cloth, dirty and torn, and I'll give you this new. And he could not agree, but after some time, okay, he agreed, and he gave his torn quilt, dirty torn quilt. So Sanatana Goswami decorated his body with that quilt, and he came to Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu was smiling. He was happy. So they were like this. The richest people of their time, they left everything. Remember Rupa Goswami, Shad Goswami Ashtaka. Srinivasacharya sings about that. So they became the poorest people. Why? For Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna consciousness is the highest possession, highest riches are within Krishna consciousness. What is that? They were doing practice, which was described by Sri Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrita. What is that? Tannama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu Smrityo Kramena Rasana Manisini Yojyatishtan Vrajeta Nuragi Jananugami Kalam Nayeda Kilamityu Padesha Saram. So that is the whole essence of all advice. Iti Upadesha Saram, the essence of all advice. What is the essence of all advice? You should all read books, the book Essence of All Advice, The Essence of All Advice, by my Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. That's his commentary of Upadeshamrita. So the essence of all advice is that one should engage all of his time for chanting, remembering, hearing, chanting, and remembering the names, forms, pastimes, qualities and pastimes of Krishna. The Nama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtana. Engaging sometimes one's tongue and sometimes one's ears. When you chant, you hear, and then you remember. So chanting is everything. There are so many methods of bhakti, actually 64 limbs. But 9 of them are most important. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Hearing, chanting, remembering, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, serving the lotus feet of the deity, Vishnu Smara, Sevanam, Archanam, performing puja, Archanam, Vandanam, offering prayers, Dasyam, serving in a servitorship mode, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, establishing friendly relationship, Atmanivedanam, giving all of your heart. Then out of 9, 5 most important. Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathur Vasa, Srimurtira, Shraddhaya Seva. 5. Sadhu Sangha means association with pure devotees. Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, chanting the holy names, which is most important. So that Bhagavat Shravan, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam through the mouth of Bhagavata, self-realized person, Bhagavad Shravan. Mathurvasa, living in Vrindavan, Mathura. Srimurti Rashradaya Sivan, serving the deity with faith. These are not just statues. This is Lord Himself, installed by a great devotee. So that's the process of bhakti. And out of 5, 3 most important. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Hearing, chanting, remembering. But out of 3, 1. Sarvasreshta, Nama Sankirtan. Most important, chanting. Because when you chant, then you hear and you remember both. So it's a Nama Rupa Charitari Sukirtananu. One has to chant. Sukirtananu means with great devotion. Su means very nicely. Sukirtananu, Nama Rupa Charitadi, names, forms, qualities, and pastimes with great, great feeling, great, great love. Nama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu Smritya Kramenama, sometimes engaging your tongue, sometimes engaging your ears. Tishtan Vraja, residing in Vrindavan. So we try to live in Vrindavan as much as we can. If not, then we create Vrindavan here. Same as 6 Goswamis. When the 6 Goswamis were serving Muslim government, they created Vrindavan in their courtyard. They dug out 2 ponds. One became Radhakund, one became Shyamakund. One the pond of Radha, one the pond of Krishna, same as in Vrindavan. And they put up Govardhan, the hill which was raised by Krishna on his little finger of the left hand. Like this is a whole story. But anyway, they put, okay, let there be Govardhan, let there be Radhakunda, Shyamakunda. And they were always in Vrindavan in their minds. So now if you cannot go to Vrindavan physically, we remember like this. It is said that if one even thinks, oh, I have to go to Vrindavan, I want to go to Vrindavan, then really it counts as if you've gone to Vrindavan. Yeah, that's one special concession. So the Goswamis are practicing that. Nama Rupa Charitari Sukirtana Smritya Kramena Rasana Manasinyoja. Tishtan Vraja, not just living in Vrindavan. Not to live in Vrindavan and space out, but have to be in the guidance of that Anuragi Jananugami, those devotees who are in the line of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Rupa Gosvami, so that you can develop that mood. Everything is about the mood in bhakti, in devotional service. Everything is about the mood. So no matter how you do and what you do with the mood. So even if one brought something for Krishna, a little flower from the side of the road, which may be dusty or something, but with great mood, so Krishna will definitely accept. Once, a great devotee of Krishna called Vidura was living somewhere near Krishna, and Krishna desired to visit him. So Vidura was the son of a maidservant. So some people were calling him Dasiputra, son of a maidservant, although he was a great soul, actually. But at that time, Krishna visited him. At that time, he was not home, but his wife was there, Vidurani. So Vidurani, out of great amazement and, surprise, she was not able to prepare anything nicely. And actually, there were no food in home. There was nothing to cook from. So, but there were some old bananas, like brownish, lying down. So she wanted to feed Krishna some bananas, and she started to peel them. But since she was so mesmerized, and she could not, put her eyes out of the darshan, of the sight of Krishna. So instead of giving the bananas, she was giving him the peels. She was giving the actual peels. He was eating them. And at that moment, okay, Vidura is entering the house. And, oh, silly woman, what are you doing? What are you giving, my lord? Krishna say, wait, I love them so much. I love them. Those banana peels so much. They were given with so much. So the Lord doesn't accept the products, fruit, the milk, the grains. He doesn't accept that. The flour. He accepts the mood, love. So whatever we do for Krishna, we have to do with love. Even moralists, they say, like Leo Tolstoy, he was teaching, whatever you do properly, otherwise don't do. My mother was teaching me when I was a kid. But in bhakti, we do everything properly in the way that Krishna is happy. So that's called properly. If without that, then it's tamasic. It's an ignorance. Then the Lord will not, he will neglect. If you're neglecting the Lord will neglect you what to do. So, tamam prapadyante tam statyam bhajamyaham. Krishna is saying, whatever way you offer yourself to me, I reciprocate accordingly. So, yes, so they were teaching us how to live, how to practice the Nama Rupa Chiridali. Sukirtanano smrityo kramena rasana manasini yoja. Tishtan vrajeta danuragi jananugami. All your time should be dedicated to that. Kalam nayet iti upadeshasara. That is the essence of all advice. So if you're seeking for advice from the Vedas, what to do, what not to do, just go to Srila Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamrita, verse 8. It's your homework. So number 8, Upadeshamrita. We have to learn and practice according to that. That's Srila Rupa Goswami's essence of all of his advice. So, yes, so the pilgrims were coming from Vrindavan to Puri. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asking them, how are my Rupa and Sanatana? How are they doing? And the pilgrims were telling, oh, the two brothers, Rupa and Sanatana, have no fixed place of residence. They spend night under the trees. One night under one tree, another night under another tree. Why? Formally speaking, yes, that's true also, because they were renounced, not attached to any place, sometimes. But deeply, that was because under every new tree, there were new pastimes of the divine couple going on, Radha and Krishna. So sometimes they were going to Nidovan, sometimes to Sevakunj, sometimes to Keshigat, sometimes to Vamshivat, traversing all the holy places, traveling the land of Krishna and meditating on his pastimes. So in this way, we come to Vrindavan. In the association of great devotees, we come to all those places, and devotees reveal what's there in their hearts, and we remember that, and we imbibe those moods into our hearts. This is the way bhakti works. Not just intellectual process, you read and you describe and everything is theoretical and dry. No. There must be live association of those devotees. So that's very great secret. It's not always available, but we have to seek that. Do you know why? Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Prabhupada, called ISKCON, the Society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, the Society for Krishna Consciousness. You know where this consciousness is coming from? From the verse from Shiraya Ramananda we discussed 2 years ago. The formula of Raga Nuga Bhakti, or devotion which is based on spontaneous attraction. Krishna Bhakti Rasabhavitamati, Kriyatamiti Kutopi Labhyate, Tatra Laulem Epimulyam Ekalam, Janmakoti Sukritar Nalabhyate. It says, if Bhakti Rasa, or sweet ecstatic narrations about relationships with Krishna is available anywhere, then purchase it immediately for any price. Just rush to that place where it's going on and purchase immediately for any price. It's actually priceless. There's no price. But the actual price for that is what? Do you know what? I know that you know. Purushottam, you know? Greed. Lowliya. Greed. Tatra lowliyam api mulyam ekalam. Mulya, or the price, is the greed. A person may be completely disqualified. Completely. Like lame and crippled person. Our Gurudev used to give that example. Who falls in love with the late Princess Diana. In those years, Gurudev was speaking. She was still alive. Oh, I must become her husband, the person says, and makes a vow, and follows that vow. Or a dog at the sweet shop in India. India has variety of nice sweets, rasagullas, gulab jamun. You can just imagine. Juicy, juicy bowl, you know, filled with syrup. And when you chew it, it just collapses explodes with variety of tastes, and especially Bengali ones. Comparing to Bengali ones, those Hindustani ones are like rubber. But the Bengali ones. Okay, so Bengali dog, by the sweet shop in Navadvip, let's say. Right? So much eager to get that sweet, so the dog is not qualified to enter the shop because has nothing to pay, you know, obviously, and has no suitable form for that also to become a shop customer. So that's why he's not welcome, but stands by the door and salivating, you know, waiting, salivating, anticipating, still so much desirous to receive that sweetness. And finally, one wealthy gentleman is coming out, and the dog is, you know, asking, okay, have one, right into her mouth. And the dog is just, oh, sir, I will not be able to repay you. So the devotees were telling Gurudev, oh, Gurudev, can I become like that dog? You please bless me. So yes, jokingly giving that blessing. So that is called Krishna consciousness. Janma koti sukritar nalabhyate. Koti means hundreds of millions of lifetimes dedicated to cultivating devotional merits, building temples, distributing books, making donations, accepting pilgrims, organizing parikramas, doing things. Without that association, nalabhyate will not help. Well, it will help to a certain extent, but to obtain that greed towards pastimes of Krishna will never, never, never help. So the 6 Goswamis were residing like that. And sometimes they chant the holy name, and sometimes they're writing books, the pilgrims were telling. Sometimes they go and beg a little food from the houses of brahmanas. Sometimes they're given something, sometimes they're given nothing. And they eat just a little chickpeas, dried chickpeas, which are normally fed for monkeys. So they were eating those chickpeas. They gave up all kinds of material enjoyments. Imagine, the personal advisor of the great Shah, Muslim governor, and his prime minister, now in Kopians only, in loincloths, in Vrindavan under trees, having the highest riches of the world, Krishna consciousness. Right? So Krishna consciousness is like one digit, one, before many, 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 many zeros, maybe 12 zeros, quadrillion, what's that? 1 quadrillion, whatever. I'm not a mathematician. So if you put digit 1 before many, many zeros, you get a huge, huge number. But without 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 equals 0. So a person may have riches, may have name, fame, servants, popularity, influence, power, whatever. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. So Rupa and Sanatana were teaching the world those principles. They were begging food. Oh, I remember the story, another story from Bhagavatam of an Avanti Brahman. The Brahman of Avanti, he was a rich merchant, but he was so miserly, you know, he was miserly, that he was just accumulating riches. He was even so miserly, he was not eager to pay for himself. Yes. Huh? Miserly?
Stingy.
Miser. A miser, person who is very greedy, you know. So he was accumulating that wealth and not eager even to pay for himself, just money, like piles of money. So those people who were supposed to receive some payments from him started hating him because he was not giving them. So they turned against him. And finally, by the twist of fate, by the will of fate, he was deprived of all his possessions. He became penniless. And he became a street beggar. And he became sort of mendicant. He was chanting, you know, surrendering to God. So they were, how to say, they were abusing him so badly. And he was coming to their homes and he was knocking their doors, asking for alms. And he was sitting by the side of the road. They were urinating into his bowls. They were giving him something, untouchable instead of money, instead of food. He was still like this. So that's another example. So the Goswamis were like that. But he was having greatest riches, Krishna consciousness. So the Goswamis were like that. 24 hours daily they were rendering service to the Lord. And they were sleeping maybe 2.5 hours maximum. And they were sleeping, they were in Krishna's pastimes. Only some rest for the body. So those are great, how to say? Highest levels of Krishna consciousness. Sometimes they write transcendental literatures about Krishna. The pilgrims were telling further. And sometimes they were walking here and there in all the places. It says, 1.5 hours maximum. They were sleeping 1 hour and a half. Sometimes they don't sleep at all. Sometimes when the associates of Lord Chaitanya heard that, they were asking, what is wonderful for a person who has been granted the Lord's mercy? Yes. So for 10 days, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed in Prayag and instructed Srila Rupa Gosvami, empowering him with the necessary potency, because he knew that Srila Rupa Goswami would give science of Krishna consciousness for all the world. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "My dear Rupa, please listen to me. It is not possible to describe devotional service completely. Therefore, I'm just trying to give you a synopsis of the symptoms of devotional service. The ocean of transcendental mellows of devotional service is so big that no one can estimate its length and breadth. However, just to help you taste it, I'm describing but one drop. So in this universe, there are so many living entities. So many living entities. There are actually 8,400,000 species. So they are traveling all over the universe. So it's said that there are 900,000 species living in the water, 2 million non-moving living entities like plants, trees, and 1,100,000 species of insects and reptiles, 1 million species of birds, 3 million quadruples. So 8 million already mentioned. So if to human species, only 400,000 species belong. Only 400 species. Not so much, isn't it? So the living entity, not dependent on which body he is situated, described as 1/10,000th part of the tip of a hair. If we take a tip of a hair and divide into 100 parts, and each of the 100 parts divide into another 100 parts, there will be 10,000 parts. So this is our soul. This is who we are. The sparks from the great fire, living entities, jivas. So jivas are called chitkana, or particles of spirit, like sparks. Not matter. So the soul is not material, always transcendental, always spiritual. But by the will of the Lord, with the twist of fate, we're living here in the material world. In the material world. Spirits in the material world, as one song says. And as a result, our situation is quite incompatible. Incompatible. We cannot be happy. That's the problem in the material world. So therefore, we go towards spirituality, which is natural. Now in Kali Yuga, Kali Yuga, we go dark age of ignorance, iron age otherwise. People are short-lived, yes, short-lived. And Manda, Sumanda, Matayo, Manda, Bhagya, Bhadrata. Manda means very lazy. Sumanda, Matayo means not discriminative, don't know what's good for them, deprived of good fortune, and always disturbed. Always disturbed. So you try to sit and meditate, and some nonsense will come, either physically or in your mind, or if you cannot really go. You go to Himalayas. In the Himalayas, there are no kings who are protecting mendicants like before. They were hunting, especially to prevent the wild animals from harming the mendicants living in the forest and the mountains. So now there are no conditions. Also, the results from meditation, which could be achieved in previous ages, are now not working, just not working. No, nothing is working but the holy name. In the Brihad Naradi, I think, Purana, it says, Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Nama Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatirana. Now, in this present age of Kali, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way than chanting of the holy name, chanting of the holy name, chanting of the holy name, repeated thrice. If something is repeated 3 times in the Vedic tradition, it's considered to be axiomatic truth. So we cannot say anything against. Only the holy name will work. And anyone can chant. A child can chant, old man can chant, crippled man can chant, unintelligent man can chant, anyone. People were coming after drugs, after heavy drugs, in the times of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. At the end of the 60s in New York, who came? Drug addicts, hippies, were disappointed with Western society whatsoever, so were seeking shelter in the East. And some of them were just unable to do anything, but through chanting they became greatest pandits, means wise people and greatest devotees. So Krishna says in the Vedas, in the Bhagavad Gita, amongst minute particles, I am the living entity. Krishna says, he is the living entity. But if he is the living entity, how come we're not Krishna? We're not Krishna, are we? We're not. How? If Krishna says, I am the living entity, it means he's invested his energy. His energy, we were talking this afternoon already, of Shakti, has 3 manifestations. Chit Shakti, Maya Shakti, Jiva Shakti. Remember that, Purushottam? Chit Shakti means spiritual part, spiritual energy. Maya Shakti means material energy, which covers people living into his consciousness in the material world. And then Jiva Shakti, or the energy of the living entity. So we come from that. So we're just in between spirit and matter. That's our position. And we want to become eternal residents of spiritual world. That is our desire and our right, inborn right. So there's an example Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Sanatana Goswami. Imagine a man who is very poor, but he has a good friend astrologer. So that astrologer says, hey, your father has just departed, but you know your father left you a great chest of riches in your garden. It's hidden in your garden. Oh, can you tell me? In which part of the garden it's hidden? And the astrologer, Sarvagya means the all-knowing, Sarvagya, knowing. He said, oh, when you dig, don't dig in the southern side. Yeah. Don't dig in the western side. Don't dig in the northern side. Dig on the eastern side. It means to discover riches, don't dig in the south side, then the wasps will come and bite you. So that's called karma. Karma means reward-seeking activity. People work for money, so they want enjoyment. Typical. So don't dig there. The wasps will come. Karmic reactions. Bad luck, bad health, some debts you have to pay. You cheated someone, you will be cheated, etc. Okay, don't dig in the west. That's what I think that's monism, thinking that I am Brahman, I am the absolute, impersonal absolute. Yeah, because the spirit will come and attack you. So don't dig in the north. because that's yoga, mystic yoga. So great python will come and bite you, because you'll be thinking that, oh, I want to achieve mystic perfection. Dig only in the eastern side. And the eastern side is pure bhakti, pure devotional service. So dig there. Then the Supreme Lord will come himself and say, oh, my dear devotee, I want to help you establish your dormant love for me, relationship. So there, only in the eastern side, you please dig. Like this. So we are not Krishna, we are Krishna's servants. And we have to dig in the east, like this, to become Krishna conscious. So that's basic philosophy. So Mahaprabhu said the unlimited living entities can be divided into two divisions, those that can move and those who cannot move. Amongst living entities that can move, there are birds, aquatics, and animals. Although living entities known as human beings are very small in quantity, that division may be still further subdivided, for there are many uncultured human beings like Malichhas, Pulindas, Bodhas, and Shabaras. So our European race belongs to those, they're called Hunas. Yeah, Hunas are more Scandinavians. They're Malecha anyway. Malecha are those who are killing and eating cows. So when Kali Yuga started, those people who became Malechas, they started killing and eating cows. Eating cows is very, very bad. I heard yesterday that there's some animal addition in the new British money, even. Hopefully not from cows. Hopefully not from cows. But the cow meat is very, very sinful. It's like killing your own mother. There are 7 mothers, according to the Vedas. Atma Mata Guru Maitri Brahmani Raja Patnika Dhena Dhaitri Tata Prithvi Saptaita Matara Smartaha. There are 7 mothers. So Atma Mata, your own mother. Atma Mata Guru Maitri, mother of your guru. Brahmani, the wife of Brahmana. Brahmani Raja Patnika, wife of the king, the queen. Dheno means cow. Dhaitri means wet nurse, giving breast to infants. And finally, Mother Earth. So these 7 mothers, if you commit some violence towards one or more of them, you're doomed. So that's why the whole world is doomed. Right now we can see. It's on the verge of the Third World War constantly. We see those news, very, very risky. Because all the world kills and eats cows. That's why, as a result, war is coming. Although the living entities known as human beings are very small in quantity, so mostly they're uncivilized. Amongst human beings, those who are followers of the Vedic principles are considered civilized. So there are different religions. Some religions are for those who are following Vedic principles, Vedic religion. And some of those who are for people who are not following Vedic religion. So they're eating meat, they're drinking alcohol, and they're having some religion also. They go to church, they drink wine for their god, etc. And they share meat for their god, etc. So still considered to be non-civilized. And those who follow the Vedas, well, not that all of them are vegetarians either, but those who worship Krishna or the Supreme Personality, they're all vegetarians. And those who don't worship Krishna or worship along with the others, they are considered to be demigod worshippers. There are 33 million demigods, and they're also worshipped. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita in the 7th chapter that those who worship particular demigods, I give intelligence so that they can achieve perfection in their worship and then can obtain results from their worship. But actually they worship no one but me, but quite improperly, in a different way. Right? So they don't know. And Shiva, Ganesh, Durga, Surya satisfy them, so they achieve their results. And Those who worship demigods, they go according to fruitive activity principles, karma kanda. There's a special section of the Vedas dedicated to karma, dedicated to worship with result awarding activity mentality. So I want result back. I want something back. Oh Durgamata, you please give me riches. Oh Ganesh, please give me riches. Please give me sons. Please give me prosperity. And many people worship Lakshmi without Narayana. They come and they worship Lakshmi. There are pictures of Lakshmi giving coins. You know, some people worship. They don't need Narayana. They need just Lakshmi. Yeah, that's it. So mostly those who are devoted to Vedic knowledge are karma kandis. So they worship different demigods for some material results. And they don't really distinguish between good and bad work, good karma, bad karma. They just blindly worship demigods, please give me good results. And then having those good results, having obtained those good results, they engage in some bad work. Maybe they cheat someone, they steal something. And they again go into bad karma, but they don't care. Then, out of many such sincere fruitive actors, there may be one who is actually wise. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam jamanamante gyanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, one who is really in knowledge will surrender to me, but very, very rare, such a wise soul can be found. Very, very rare. So one has to aspire for knowledge. After having been disappointed in the karma, one wants to go towards knowledge and then receive transcendental knowledge. So Gyanis, Krishna is saying 4 kinds of people come to me. Those who are in, in trouble, those who want riches, those who are inquisitive, and those who seek knowledge. So one who seeks knowledge is the best, Krishna is saying. So many people must have been disappointed, so they're going to church, they're seeking for the Lord, and some were desirous to obtain some riches, and some are inquisitive, but the ones who want transcendental knowledge are the best. So amongst the, so out of many such sincere fruitive actors, actually wise, out of many millions of such wise men, one may actually become liberated. And out of many millions of such liberated persons, a pure devotee of Krishna is very difficult to find. So see, mostly people are devoted to karma. And out of many millions of karmis, there will be one jnani, one person who seeks transcendental knowledge. But most commonly, they are impersonalists. So those people who want transcendental knowledge are of 2 kinds, personalists and impersonalists. Impersonalists, they obtain knowledge of the supreme impersonal Brahman. Brahman means absolute truth, but it's impersonal. So probably tomorrow we'll hang the cosmology map, we'll try to show you. But basically those are the rays from the highest transcendental planet of Krishna, Krishna Loka, or Goloka Vrindavan. So the Buddhists call that emptiness. The Advaita Vedantists call that Brahman, which is basically also emptiness in the sense that that's the impersonal feature of the Absolute. And devotees of Krishna, they know that that's just the light emanating from the highest abode of Krishna. So they call Absolute Truth Para Brahman. Para Brahman means Supreme Absolute Truth in a personal form. But out of many millions of such jnanis seeking to know the Supreme Personality in the impersonal feature, one may become a devotee. One may become a devotee. Very, very difficult to find. Even rarer than the jnanis amongst karmis. We can find devotees amongst jnanis. Yeah? You follow? Karmis means reward-seeking people. And jnanis means seekers of knowledge. But most commonly, they are devoted to impersonal feature of the Absolute. They analyze, they see, neti, 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 not that, not that, not that. That is not Brahman, that is not Brahman, that is not Brahman, that is not Brahman. My mind, intelligence, ego, not Brahman. What is Brahman? Oh, that is the Supreme Absolute. And they dedicate their time for meditation and analytical study also. And devotees, they know, oh, Brahman means Krishna. So Para Brahman means above Brahman. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Edam Uttama. So I'm the purest. I'm the source of Brahman. I'm the highest personality from whom Brahman is emanating. So, because the devotee of Krishna is desireless, is peaceful. No? All others are not peaceful, ashanta, because they have material desires. I want to achieve results of my work, karmic things. Jnani things, I want to achieve the results of my austerities. I want to know Brahman. I want to become realized. They want something for themselves. Then yogis, I want to achieve mystic perfection. I want to walk over water, to fly, to control others, to create a planet. A yogi can create a planet, even. A yogi can multiply himself into 9 forms, maximum 9. So they want something. Devotees, they don't want. They say, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu said in Shikshashtaka, what's that? Nadanam najanam nasundarim kavitam vajagadishakame mama janmani janmanishwari bhavatad bhaktirahai tukitve. Nadanam, oh my Lord, I don't want to accumulate wealth. Nadanam, najanam, I don't want any followers. Nasundarim, I don't want beautiful ladies described in mundane poetry. I want just to serve you life after life, not desiring anything in exchange. So that's the mentality of a devotee. Therefore, devotee is desireless and he is peaceful. Fruitive workers desire material enjoyment, jnanis desire liberation, and yogis desire material opulence. Therefore, they're all lusty and cannot be peaceful. Cannot be. Day and night, I desire something. Oh, no peace. So, at the end of 5th chapter of Gita, Krishna gives peace formula, 529. Bhaktaram yagitapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Those who know that I'm the highest object of sacrifices, that I'm the possessor of all the opulences and the source of all the worlds, they achieve complete peace. So that's the peace formula. But since all the world don't know that, the people of the world don't know that, they are not peaceful. That's the those who become devotees become peaceful. We're peaceful because we have nothing to lose, we have nothing to desire, nothing to possess. 6 Goswamis were like this, Rupa Goswami, completely peaceful and completely happy in Krishna's pastimes. Always serving Krishna in spiritual body. What that service is, well, on advanced stages we will know and we'll meditate and we'll become more and more joyous. Right now this is like a theory, more or less, but also there's great revelation coming from great personalities. They're describing that in the literatures, in the Harikatha, in the narrations about pastimes of Krishna. So, living entities, according to the karma in Sanskrit, karma in British English can be different. Without R, it can be different meaning. So according to the karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary systems. Some are going down to the lower planetary systems. There are 14 planetary systems. Everywhere, a big welcome. You can come. But only according to your qualification, obviously. So you will not be allowed to heavenly planets if you're a bad man. So you must go to hell. So all those good stories of our grandparents, about heaven and hell and when people go there. Well, after enjoying so many years, according to celestial estimation, in the heavenly planets, you'll have to return according to the laws of nature, of karma. And from the hell also, time is sliding so slow in the heavenly planets. And finally, you'll have to return through maybe lower forms of life like dogs and cats you're returning to human form. I remember one extract from Garuda Purana, if somebody sells his daughter, like a prostitute, one will go to hell, in which one will have to eat stool of his daughter for many, many years. And after that, and bitten by worms, etc., 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 after that long, long period of suffering, one will have to gradually get back to the human form through lower forms like dogs and cats, and then coming back to human form. And in the human form, one will be a diseased person selling meat. That's from Garuda Purana. So people are coming up and down. There's way back from heaven, way back from hell. And out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who's very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. That's a famous verse. Brahmanda Brahmitekona Bhagavana Jiva Guru Krishna Prasadapaya Bhakti Lata Bija. So one starts to associate with a bona fide spiritual master, one will obtain what? Bhakti Lata Bija, or the Bija, seed of devotional service. Seed of devotional service. What is that? What does it look like? What does it feel like to receive that seed? All of a sudden, that person develops desire to serve Krishna. That's the outer manifestation of Bhakti Lata Bij. Krishna Seva Vasana, remember? Outer manifestation of the seed of devotional service, you remember. Outer manifestation of the seed of devotional service is, yes, the desire to serve Krishna. Remember? Okay, now remember. Krishna Seva Vasana. So all of a sudden, like Mr. Jag or Mr. Mike has become a bhakta, a devotee, who wants to serve Krishna. Yesterday was a drunkard, drug taker, a mechanic, a stupid mechanic, someone, electrician. And today, this is Bhakta Mike and Bhakta Jack, and tomorrow initiated devotee such and such, Dasi. Where? From the mercy of Sri Guru. So Bhakti Lata Bija has been planted by the mantra. The Sri Guru took out that mantra from his heart and planted into our heart. That's what happened. So people cannot recognize it. Oh, he has become a Hare Krishna, an adept in a dangerous sect. What's going on? People are protesting, but actually everything is fine. Perfectly all right. That person is being elevated spiritually, so very, very lucky. Very, very lucky, really. And also, friends cannot recognize what happened to you. Purushottam, do you recognize these conditions? Suvarna? What happened to you? You're different now. And then they're thinking, maybe there's something in that. This person is going towards good, very good. They're thinking, oh, before he was a drunk, now he's a great. So even parents, and surrounding people, they start to appreciate, evaluate. And they're thinking, oh, something is behind that. There's some power. They recognize the power. So when a person receives the seed of devotional service, he should take care of it by becoming a gardener and sowing the seed in his heart. What does it mean? Well, the seed is sown by the Guru, isn't it? But we have to be caretakers. It means we have to build a fence around the seed. All right? So there's a seed, right? When I was a kid, I planted an orange, okay, in my room. I got a book about subtropical plants and planted an orange. I was maybe 9 or 10 something. Okay, and there's an orange. It's supposed to grow. Okay, so I labeled it. I wrote orange and labeled on the pot. Nothing coming, 2 weeks, nothing coming. Then a friend of mine, a classmate, came to visit me. He was into plants, Also, he was a specialist. So he was laughing. What kind of orange? But there's a label orange, I was waiting. It must grow. So he was a bit, joking. But finally, a sprout came. Really, a sprout came, and the orange started growing. I was so happy. Orange is coming, yes! So if I waited a couple of years, then the plant would have been higher, but something happened to it anyway. So that was my experience. How it's growing. There was nothing, you know. There was some earth and some clay of the pot and nothing. All of a sudden, some life is coming. But interesting. It's coming from the seed. If you plant some piece of wood there, nothing will grow because that's not the seed, you know. So if a person comes to you and tells you, oh, chant some name of some rock star or some football star, you know, you will chant, 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 nothing will come. Even that person will not come into your room. Only some mental image, and you will be suffering in separation with your the person you adore. But when the seed is planted, then the real process is coming. Then Krishna is coming to you through the sound vibration. And the sound vibration is different from the Lord. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta Bhinnatvan Nama Namino. There's no difference between the name and the possessor of the name, the actual person, Krishna, the Supreme Personality. There is no difference. So the more we chant and in the better quality we chant, in the proper association, the faster the seed turns into plant, turns into a great tree, and gives the fruit of prema. That fruit of prema, or pure love, is definitely ours, but we, for now, have to become gardeners, And then, when we are very, very diligent, we are protective, we protect the plant from many different possible animals, goats, etc., can come and borrow some leaves, not borrow, steal some leaves, and prevent the growth of the plant. So then we'll become real gardeners. So tomorrow we'll discuss the growth of the plant further. I hope some more friends will come. Today we made necessary introduction. Many things were said, and tomorrow we'll continue about the growth of the plant and certainly about the sweet fruits of prema. So Srila Rupa Gosvami Pada Ki Jai, Shri Sanatana Goswami Pada Ki Jai, Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pada Ki Jai, Paramaraditam Guru Pad Padma Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Okay, dear friends, any questions? Did you understand most of it? I hope so. Thank you. Glenn and Charlotte, I was very happy to. And any questions from the public? Most welcome. Masz pytań? Coś wymyśli. Okay, so probably during prasad, during spiritual treat, we'll discuss something about this. So now, what's the next program? Arati. Okay, so we'll offer Arati to the deities very, very soon. Thank you so much. Dandavat pranam. See you all tomorrow. Bring your friends also.